Okay, before we start, I need to correct three things I said last time, which is makes me somewhat embarrassed. But well, before you demanded your money back, I need to say this, you know. So anyway, so that's about this, all about sentence number 6 in section 4 of this chapter. And well, to begin with, that sentence with metachondes in line 31. And remember, we were raising the question, which finite verb governs this participle. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the answer we gave was a somether, which is correct, but not that a somether which is further down. Where is it in at line
33.
33? Right, 33. Why not that? Just a sufficient reason is that that's a new clause, and the indicator that it's a new clause already in line 33 is this har. Har is the beginning. It stands normally the second in a clause, and a confirmation of this is this editorial punctuation, a semicolon. So this asomether here, it's not that asomether. The asomether which governs this metacondes is asomether before, which is here, begins in line 25, 27 and goes into line 28. Yes, that's one blunder. And the second one is most embarrassing for me is that I completely overlooked this participle, to tell the truth, apoplerumini. And that's why I took this whole part to be genitive absolute. Remember, we raised the question, this oratis avtu theophanies, why is the genitive? And we all like were rejoiced. And well, actually, yeah, that's genitive because apoplerumini takes genitive, full, being filled with apo, completely, that makes to the brim, so to speak, of this oratis avtu theophanies. So in fact, this tis man, tis there, they're totally parallel, because in each case there is a first person plural participle, tin man apoplerumini, with object in the genitive, oratis avtu theophanies, and tin the metacondes, also noitis, also the object in the genitive, tis noitis avtu photodasias. Well, so my bad, and but you also, you shouldn't trust me. Okay, now does this make sense? Just okay. So we consider it fixed, and of course, in the same sentence, anagnos from agnos. You see, agnos has rough breathing, alpha with rough breathing, so it of course not from avhi, which means bright light, which I kind of hastily made a suggestion, not at all, but from hagios, holy, and hence there's a meaning pure, and it comes from the verb azome or hazomai, stand in awe. especially of gods and one's parents. So that's panagnos again has nothing. It's hello. I thought because the English verb hallowed sorry, adjective. I thought it's from related somehow to light, but I didn't look into etymology of it, but possibly it's not. But it's not. But it's irrelevant anyway because it's English after all, not Greek. Anyway, so okay, my apologies for this. That happens with me, you know. I'm not.
I had already drafted my email demanding a refund, so it's good that you apologized.
All right, that's I learned that from cashiers in the supermarkets. Okay. Uh, all right. So, who was the last? I think Adam was reading, right? The last time. So, if it's correct, let's call. Would you begin with sentence 8?
Um, okay. Igar he gnosis passe tonontonisi, keis taunta to peras ehusin. I passis husias epecina, que passis gnoseos estin exirimeni. So, for if all the knowings of beings are
Sorry, I maybe missed the English of being are. Uh, uh, does do they say so in English? I mean, uh,
sorry, maybe.
uh, yeah, uh, but depends what you mean.
Yeah, so if all I don't really know what this means, but if all knowledge is of existing things or is of
Right, right.
beings,
Yes, absolutely. If
okay,
all knowings uh, are of the things that are, well, we'll say, yeah. One may put it this way, if, which I like, but maybe.
and um, and has the limit in things that exist.
Yes. Uh,
So is limited by things that exist.
yeah, one may say that's a very interesting way of putting it, which is one can find it in Plato also. So, is uh, uh, when we see ace or is the preposition, we expect a verb of motion,
Yeah,
but echusin is a static condition. So it's a compressed way of expressing the meaning that uh, um, uh, something like that all knowings as they move in their advancement, in their progress, uh, have the have the limit of that movement of their motion in the things that are. So it's just a compressed way by using this ace instead of say an with dative, for instance. Uh, uh, this gives this dynamic meaning to this turn of phrase.
okay, and then the final part of the sentence, then that which is on the other side of of all being and all knowledge, uh, then that transcends on the other side. Yeah, I'm not sure how to fit the participle in there. Um,
Right, but also the meaning, we need to think of what he means here.
mhm. Yeah, well, that would be.
Okay, so well, I didn't. I guess I interrupted you. So would you give it a try?
Sure. So my dictionary gives epekina as an adverb.
Yes,
So so he exirimeni estin. So that thing that transcends beyond, um, is beyond every existing thing or every.
you looks like you construe exerimony as if uh, it was uh, the article "hey" was related to it. The-
Yes.
well, that's a little bit uh, kind of, I would say, implausible
Okay.
because it's too far. So take hypothesis epekina, take this as the subject, grammatical subject.
Okay.
And
So
then the rest would be the predicate part.
so that okay. Then it means that which is beyond all being
Yeah,
also transcends all knowledge.
yes, yes, uh, exactly. Uh, and the feminine article is, why is it feminine? Uh, well, literally one would say she, but sounds too in English uh, too, kind of say, too graphic, I would say. Uh,
Does it refer back to the ray
yes, I think
algae?
so. Yes,
Okay.
and it's not. It's actis.
Oh, actis.
Yeah. By the way, we've been translating it as ray, and I gave it some thought because it has the first meaning is ray, but also a derivative meaning is splendor. So that's something in between because ray is a little bit too little, radiation maybe a little bit too much. Maybe I'm so sorry, splendor, but I thought maybe radiation is good, although it's too almost medical or technical term. So I don't know. Radiation from radius, right? Radius in Latin, it's ray. So we have that radiation, which kind of I would think that that would give its due to both meanings, ray and splendor. Because again, ray, we never see one ray. It's too kind of narrow, I think, in a very literal sense. But anyway, that's I know it's for translators. If we had a translation workshop, would be the subject. Anyway, any questions about this sentence?
I noticed or I remember that in Plato's Republic when he refers to the good that's beyond being, he uses that same phrase, ousias.
Right. Oh,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was interesting to see.
Yes. I didn't mention that, but because it's so much, it's already yes, definitely. That's a wink to the again one of his many winks to the mm, uh, platonically background readers with neo. Oh, well, we call it neo, but for them it was just platonic background. Okay, the next one, please, Adam.
Kai main e Kraton esti pantos lago kai passes noseos kai hyper nun katolu kai usian hydrutai panton men usa per leptike kai suleptike kai proleptike passi daute katolu a aleptos kai uta aesthesis autus estin uta fantasia ute doxa ute onoma ute logos uta epaphe uta episteme Pos ha peri teon anamaton hemen dia pragmateu desitai logos Kletu kai huper onu mu tus huper usiu theotes apodek numenes.
Mhm.
So and moreover,
Well, let's wait. Okay, let's suspend. Moreover, right? If that could mean moreover, but let's deduce the meaning of this came in from the meaning of the rest, because you may be surprised. And this, with this particles like mean or combination, it's not easy. And my approach to this, it's we should translate them in the first place from the context.
okay. Well, if it is greater than every speech and every act of knowing, and it is situated beyond universal mind, okay, and then substance.
Well, well, since there is no article here which would make katholo. Katholo is an adverb. I'm sorry, adverb.
Right.
So, and adverb goes with the verb, in this case, idrite.
So it
So,
universally is situated.
totally, completely. It doesn't universally. It's too kind of academic, I would say. Mean it's here. It's absolutely, completely.
Mhm. Um, uh, on the one hand, since it is, I guess, since it's grasping of all things.
No, well, it not there was no sense here.
I
It's
was I
it's
was
it's
adding
a
that to the
uh,
participle usa, like.
on the one hand being. Oh, okay, possible. My bad. Okay. Yeah, on the one hand, okay, okay, continue, please.
But maybe I'm over translating the participle though. So I guess being grasping of all things and being I guess suleptike kind of seems like a synonym to me. Uh, of
Well, to similar
perileptike.
to what? Perileptiki? No, no,
Yeah.
no. It's not at all. The problem with siliptiki is that has too many meanings. I mean, and all of them fit here. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first it means holding together. So
Hmm.
perileptiki is what's the word? Embracing, something like
Hmm.
that. Siliptiki, holding together, but it also means conceiving, from both mentally and engendering and physical, like well, how you call it? What gynecologists deal with? Yeah, right. So so it's very, and I think all of them fit here, but for the sake of minimalism, one can say that holding together.
Okay. Holding together. And would this one be like grasping in advance, proleptike?
Right, or anticipating, which basically translates the same into Latin.
Hmm. And but on the other hand, it's aleptos, like ungrasped by universally ungrasped by all things, pasi.
Uh, Ungraspable. I think
Mhm.
this tau, the suffix, it's not always translated this way, but I'm kind of purist in this respect. It really means ability, or in this case, inability,
Mhm.
and totally katholo aleptos, cannot be grasped at all
Mhm.
to any to anything, or by anything. It's, if one can take this is an instrumental dative or dative of
Mhm.
reference.
Okay. And neither is there perception of it, nor imagination, nor opinion, nor a name, nor a speech, nor touching, nor, I guess, maybe scientific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, how, uh, how will the logos, I guess, the argument be maybe conducted, dealt with
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
us
Treated, or
concerning?
maybe treated, since
Oh yeah.
pragmatia is a treatise.
Mhm. So how will the argument, the account, be treated by us concerning the divine names? Does
Right.
that
And
okay.
yes, that's great, but that's the rest part.
um with the I guess with I took this as a genitive absolute, like with
Yeah, yes, in this case,
yeah.
with I double checked for the class.
So
Okay.
with the Godhead or the Theotetos being shown unnameable beyond name. Yeah. Oh,
Iperusiu.
the super substantial Godhead
Mhm,
being
mhm, mhm.
beyond name and unnameable, unspeakable, akletu.
Aklito, again, the suffix tau, and
Oh.
strangely, it's not in Lampe, and LSJ gives some uh, 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 gives the from Plato, I guess, the meaning uncalled, as if one comes uncalled to a
Mhm.
feast, but that's not the meaning here. Definitely, I'm positive the meaning uncallable in the sense that it's from kaleo to aklito is a cognate of kaleo, so it's the one which cannot be called. And this kai, I think it's exegetical. So the one which cannot be called, implied by any name, that is above name. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Call, please. Oh, I'm sorry. But then, given that, so what should we make of Kemin? Uh, uh, I mean, well, forget that what it, how it's, what particle is used, but what should be there, given the meaning of this question?
Uh, it sounds like it's following off of the prior sentence where he talks about it's beyond knowledge, and he's saying that
Right, but does it?
what's more, even if it's greater, it's also here beyond language.
But it's not just what's more. It's kind of there's some contrariness here
Oh.
because and something like and yet or some whatever some there must be some contra something because the question asked puts uh, 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 points out the difficulty. It's something like roughly speaking, but since
Mhm.
it's above all, but we're above and including
Mhm.
above all names, how in the world we can have a treatise about the names of it? So there is something like but here.
You know what
Should be.
oh, I just had the thought that this he kind of reminds me in a strange way of maybe the sophist Gorgias has this treatise on not being,
Right, right,
right?
right, right.
He
Yes.
argues first, nothing exists. If it did exist, you can't know it, and if you could know it, you can't talk about it. It sort of seems like
Yeah.
Dionysius is channeling a similar kind of trio of this progression from it's beyond being, beyond knowledge, beyond language. Maybe there's an affinity in some way.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm positive. Great that you brought this in because I'm positive there is some whether direct or indirect influence. I don't see it in the apparatus. Well, well, but
Well, I was just thinking like Gorgias is never really taken seriously by philosophers, but there is a kind of like early apophatic impulse.
yes, and today's scholars, they treat this statement of Gorgias very seriously. If you Google it, you will find some articles which trying to unpack that argument. So that's
Yeah, I mean the traditional impression I always got is that people think he was just trying to show off how clever he is. He didn't have any serious point to make.
yeah,
But
but
I
I
think some
think
people now are more clever, more subtle about it.
yes, because this spell of Plato's ridicule of the
Mm.
sophists, it's dissipated now. People now understand that it's just Plato put a stigma on them. Well, they they deserve better. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, a call, please.
Allo per effimen, inica tas theologikas hypotyposis ex etitemeta toen to hyperagnoston to hyperusion aftotagaton hoperesti tin triathikin enadaphimi tin omoteon ke homoagaton utipin ut enoise dinaton. Um, so I'll go up to there and then we can continue perhaps.
Yeah, if you want, oh, we can split it.
Yeah.
So it's long enough. So maybe do this
Okay.
and then.
But we have said as much as this at that time when we laid down the theological outlines. The hyperagnoston is like above the one above ignorance.
Super unknowable.
The
He's
super
trying.
unknowable, the super essential, the good itself is.
Okay, is, but Hopper you skipped.
Well, hoper is like it's just the pronoun, right?
Right, with
So it
intensifier per,
is.
yeah.
I said the triune.
It's present for me.
I'm talking about, right. I'm talking about the triune unity, the godlike and well, I'm not sure how to translate homotheon. Is it like equal to God or is it
Well,
similar to God?
no, it's tricky. Adam, no, any guesses?
It reminds me of the famous in Plato's Theaetetus when Socrates talks about homoiosis theo, like this assimilation to God.
I see where you're going, but that's misleading.
Oh.
Here it's I'll tell you. Well, it's indeed not is not on the surface, but what he means by these expressions, um, he's referring to the Trinity, of course, right?
Mhm.
And he's here in this tin omotheon ke omahathon ke omoaha sorry omoahathon. In my view, and I can I can think of anything which would make more sense. He, in this way, refers to the teaching of the church that all three persons, or rather hypostases, are equally divine. Homo theon. So homo, this means equality, equality, equally I don't know how to put it in concise and yet good English, but literally it means equally divine and equally good, but not equally to something else, but
Equal
equally
to one another.
right. But
Okay.
it's but since he doesn't speak of the three, so that makes it difficult to translate. He means thriadikin, another, and this homotheon and homoagathon, they qualify this another. So this uh, the one, this this unit, uh, 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 trine unit, which is within itself. Well, if unpack it in a kind of clumsy way, which unit is within itself, is all its elements are, or parts or constituents are equally divine and equally good. Mm.
So is not able either to be spoken nor to be known.
Right, but you say is not able, but who is or what is this?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that it itself is unable, but it's impossible to speak or to know. Yeah.
Right, it's impossible. Hoper esti. It's impossible to tell or to think what indeed it is. Hoper esti.
Oh, okay.
And I think this hopper at the beginning in line 6, it looks not backward but forward. Uh, but it looks forward to this whole clause. But what we said when or at the time we were, well, how did you translate exetifemith?
I said setting down.
Right, setting down or putting, right,
Putting forth.
putting forth, right, that other treatise, Theologica Hypotyposis, namely, so here he refers to, Hopper refers to what follows after exetifemith, that namely that to end like the one again, Adam, the one of the first hypothesis of so-called of the Plato's Parmenides, the one, etc., etc. Uh, 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 what exactly it is impossible ute zinaton, ipin no think, right? And you see the paradox. He just said actually what it is. Triadiki, triadikin another, right? So that's, I see here some irony, whether deliberate or not, because you see, right, what I'm referring to. Okay, yeah. So he just kind of named it, but he says it's impossible. So I'm not sure. Maybe there is a deeper. Maybe there is no. Well, paradox here. Maybe there is a. Maybe it's a consistent saying, but I can't make non-ironic sense out of it.
Is it partly that the triadic unity is sort of on its surface a contradiction, right? To be three in one, so it has to be this mystery that
Oh,
exists.
okay. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's I like this. I like that. That's a possible way to take it. So right, so the concept of Trinity of the Trinity itself is a paradox. Uh, yeah. So and nas are the unity, oneness, right? So it's not n, uh, not the same as n. It's interesting. What's the difference between n and the nas? Uh, Unit, yes. Unit is LSJ gives unit. Lampe gives unity, but I think unit is better translation. Uh, all right. So Adam, please continue the rest of the sentence.
Alakai hai ton hagion duna meon angela prepes henoses as eta pibolas eta paradoxas crepanae tes huper agnostu kai huper panus agatotitas aretoi te esi kai agnostoi kai monois autois en uparcusi tois upergnosin angelikein ixiomenois auton angelois.
Mm-hmm.
But also the unities fit for angels of the holy.
The unions, because this is
Yeah,
actually it's a verbal noun, henosis. It's
the
hard.
unifications are
Yes, that's better. Mm-hmm.
so the unifications that are fit for angels of the holy powers, um which
K. What do you make of K? Also, did you say
oh yeah,
also? Okay.
yeah, I think, but also
Mm-hmm.
the unifications which it is necessary to name as or to call the rays
No,
or
epivoli is something like an application or
uh
right or as you can look the meanings, but I kind of
it means like throwing on or something like
right. There's so as
some kind of
um
outward projection.
right projection. Yeah, some active movement. So either epivolas or parodahas. So
Receptions, I guess,
yes.
um, of the beyond knowable and beyond um, visible goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these, so I guess, assuming the henosis, the unifications are ineffable and unknowable, and they, I guess, belong to only those angels deemed worthy of them beyond the angelic knowledge.
Yes, uh, hypergnosin angelikin. So where how do you what do you make of afton this?
I was taking it as referring back to the Henosis.
Uh, so how would
Although I guess I'd ask for your help because I think I don't understand the sense of the sentence from the first of it, so I guess it makes it harder to judge what the outone. I'm not sure what the just that first phrase, the unifications of the holy powers
okay,
is
so
a
we
bit
need to figure out what are these holy powers. Just a little bit of semantics is needed. So any guesses? This is of course extra textual. I mean, beyond this, what we read so far, and So we need to exercise our guess power. Call any, maybe you have some.
It's very, very obscure to me.
Well, quite simply, this actually in this case it's like that. First of all, we need to raise this question because when we come of this holy power, that's a question. So you may look. I don't want to spend time now, but looking into scholia would might help. Of course, we shouldn't take the scholia uncritically because it's a different author. But and by the way, if you have access to Patrologia Graeca, that's the whole uh, all the scholar, because Zuchla edited only those which are in the earliest stratum. But anyway, it can help. But I will tell you that these are just angels. This author Dionysius, or whatever his name or hers, calls angels holy powers. So angeloprepis unifications of the holy powers is plainly the unifications which angels have, namely unifications which are proper or pre-peace, like in the sense which are
But unifications of what? Of themselves or of their
no
knowledge with
no no no
God?
I think unifications with this with the Godhead,
Okay.
with the Godhead, because that's what we're talking here about.
Yeah.
This also this I get only from the context, because he was talking all the way about how unreachable it is, and now he says it's so unreachable that even the holy powers, namely the angels, uh, uh, even their unifications, I take it, because I don't know unifications otherwise with what. Because henosis is a technical term in Neoplatonism, and it refers, Adam, you probably know it, it refers to the condition of the union with the one. Of course, since it's a union of the ascending, roughly speaking, spirit, right, to the one, the highest stage is unification, henosis. So this henosis, so not only the one itself is beyond everything, but even the unions with them, with the one achieved by the angels, and the unions proper which fit the angels, and these unions can be called either the angels thrusting, or either whether the one says the angels being active or passive, that's irrelevant. These unifications cannot be expressed arity, theistic, and cannot be known agnostic. And more than that, they an eparchusy, or present, or somehow uh, exist this unification for only the angels, tis angelis, who are deemed worthy of the knowledge which is above their afton angelic knowledge. So the implication is that every level of created beings have some knowledge which uh, mm, mm, how to say, prep on, right? Prep on to it. So if we, and the higher the level ontologically, the higher the knowledge, but even at the highest level, it is um, so what would be the word prep? Good translation for prep and
Fitting.
fitting. Yes, fitting. Of course, fitting. If you translate it back into Greek, it would be many other words would be fitting to this. So it's somewhat right, but there's some nuances of this fitting, but right, roughly speaking. Anyway, so that's what I take it to mean, that it's even the angels on the highest level of angels is not entitled, they are not entitled to reach there, to the union, to the unification with the Godhead by their own natural, that is, of angelic nature powers. Where so, but they need something above the knowledge which they are naturally entitled to as angels, which the church people call grace, right? So at bottom, it's very simple. Okay. Any questions about this one? Okay, then a call, please.
Tauftes I theoidis angelomimitos hos efficton enumeni noes, epide catapassis noeras energias apopausin I tiade gignetai ton ectheumenon noon prosto hyperteon phos henosis. Imnusin auto kyriotata diatis panton ton onton aferesios tufto alitos ke hyperfios elamtetes ectis pros auto macariotatis henoseos. Oti panton menestiton onton etion auto deuden os panton hyperusios exirimenon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was quite confused in this sentence what Tauftes is referring to.
Yeah, it's It's a great. I mean, it's a great question, and the one with which to begin, because. So, any guesses? Well, I have no direct revelation about this, but I guess I thought that uh, uh, that's the dative. So, what kind of dative it is? And I think reading what follows, I think it's, first of all, it has to be connected with enumeny somehow. So one can take it as referring to something with which these noes are enumeny. But it's strange that if they would be enumeny with some plural things, right? So I think it's instrumental dative. And if it's instrumental, then I would think kenosis would be a good candidate, right? By those um, uh, unifications, by those name, no, by those unifications, and then we have to make it good English, so it so to fit to united or unified by those unifications, the minds. But then we need to fit in the rest of it.
Okay. So
So we need to say which minds. What is to add is which minds exactly, and
yeah. Well, I don't think it's talking about angels now because otherwise that adverb would be very strange.
exact, and that's by the way, have you read the scholar?
No.
That's exactly what's said in the scholar. Don't take these minds to be to refer to angels, because it would be weird that that angels don't imitate angels. That's exactly your reason. The scholars has the same reason, and it's pertinent because quite often this author Dionysius refers to the angel as minds, pure minds, but that's why the scholars specifically notes that in this context it couldn't refer it's implausible that it refers to the angels.
Okay, so though I guess starting with hoi he theoides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those divine or those godlike ones, those divine ones.
Well, why don't refer it to the minds right away? Uh,
Oh,
wh- wh- wh-
okay, so yeah. So those divine like or those godlike minds,
just the godlike mind. It's this.
the godlike minds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the godlike minds, as far as possible, in a manner imitating angels, are united.
Being united.
Oh, right, yeah,
Being
because it's
united
present.
yes,
Okay.
because you see here the finite verb comes here only imnusin, and this is parenthetical. Uh, so
Yes,
enumeni they
exactly.
imnusin. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those godlike minds, as far as possible, in a manner imitating angels, um, being united. And then there's this long parenthesis. So after they cease, and I didn't look it up, but kata with this genitive here, is it against,
Uh, well,
down from,
no, kata goes here. Adam, any ideas?
or after?
In accordance with?
Right, but in what if we take it in accordance with, or on the basis of what would should be the case of what follows?
Accusative.
Right, and do we have anything in accusative here?
I think
Oh, and yes.
Apopovsin, yes. Kata apopovsin. So here in accordance
Okay.
okay. Can you?
I had read apopocene as a verb. Sorry.
Oh, I see. I
Okay.
see.
So all right. After the cessation, the cessation of every intellectual, afterwards, in accordance with the cessation of every intellectual energy.
Mhm.
Oh, this is really hard. the
Well,
the union. Um,
Piazza.
Tiade is this union.
This kind of union. This kind of union.
Such
Not
a
this.
union as this comes to be from
No, the union of what to what?
okay. The union of every mind that proceeds from
No, ton exeumenon non.
yes. So ekthoumenon. I can't find a good translation of that in LSJ. So
Oh,
I'm not sure.
okay. Let's Adam, any guesses about what it means? Well, theomenon, take it ek as intensifier. Ek, in this case, it's intensifier.
So made divine.
Right,
Something that is made divine.
made completely divine. So, well, XO, you look, even LSJ gives what to since it's passive or middle passive, but passive made or become to passive to be made or become divine. And if Lampe adds anything, deify, which is basically the same.
Okay. So, such a union as this comes, such a union of divinized minds with the super divine light.
Yes, but notice, that's so beautifully said. Then, of course, divinized looks back to theoisis. So, divinized explains in what sense these minds are godlike. They're not godlike by nature or by what is how is
Striving or something.
oh yeah or they're godlike because of their divinized. And here you see this clear use of this henosis, what it means. It's unification of those divinized minds with the hypertheon force. So they are gods, but that with which they are united, it's above God. So that's I don't well I really enjoy this how it's spelled out here. And don't forget about epz. So epz, do you know how would you translate?
After.
No, that the first meaning is temporal, but then
Oh.
the derived meaning is what?
Oh, since.
Yes. So, and what does it explain? Since it's an explanatory, so what does it explain?
Since they have ceased from all every intellectual activity.
Yeah, well, basically, more exactly, he explains this enumeny. So he first states that they are unified or united, and then he explains uh, 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 since unification of this kind to iathe enosis happens and so forth, right? So he explains uh, how in the world they are united. Then they're united because they on the basis of the cessation of their own activity, and that that's how they imitate those angels, because those angels are also the unification. The premise of it is that the knowledge is above what that to which their nature entitles them. Okay, so let's continue. Hymnusin.
Okay. Imnusin. So they celebrate it most properly
Mm-hmm.
through the taking away,
Mm-hmm.
through, I mean, maybe like abstracting from.
Right. Oh, yes. Or denying. I think that's one of the meanings of.
Okay, so through denying of every existing being, tufto alitos que piper mios eram tentas. And what is the tuto here referring to?
Removal also for for a Pharisees, removal maybe even the better. Okay. Okay. So what's your question?
Tufto alitos.
Oh,
So
right. Tuto. It looks forward.
okay,
Sorry. There are two ways to read it. The simpler way is to one way is to take it as looking back, and then it would refer to a Pharisees, right? So,
but wouldn't a Pharisees be feminine?
right, but broadly speaking, a Pharisees is some action. Oh, sorry. No, it should be looking forward. Yeah, on both readings, but yeah, it looks forward. So first take tuto refer to oti. Uh, uh,
Okay,
this in this regard, take it adverbially. In this
okay,
regard, elamthentis oti, that.
okay. In this regard, they truly and supernaturally shine from.
No, that's passive. And lamthentis, being illumined.
Oh, they are truly and supernaturally illumined from their most blessed union with it,
Yes, unification. Okay.
unification with it.
Mm-hmm.
That that is the cause of all things that exist.
Right.
Name the thing to which they're unified, namely,
Yes.
and
But after the man,
but but itself is nothing,
yes,
as transcending in a super essential manner all things that exist.
yes. It's but itself is nothing as transcending everything.
Right.
Yes. And another way, a little bit, I would say, how to put it, avant-garde way, but I like it also. If we take hoti, not in the sense of that, but in the sense of which some editors like write it with comma, hoti, that is a neutral pronoun. Then one can take it as taking up the after. Ectis pros after makariotatis enocens, hoti. In other words, being in this way, being illumined from the union, from the most blessed union with that which hoti is, on the one hand, the cause of everything that exists, but itself, on the other hand, is nothing, etc. So it will then, hoti then would respond not to tuto, but to afto. Well, you see, right? So it would be like in the next sentence, which we will not read, of course, because we're out of time, but hoti. You see, it's written separately, and hoti poti estin, whatever in the world it is. So this is purely editorial, because this, whether one write whether one write, it's already interpretation when one writes it together. One states that one takes it to mean that, but in the original, of course, in the manuscripts, it's undecided. Anyway, we're out of time. Thank you. Next time will be the last in this term, and I will write you some questions to decide about these videos, but I will write in the letter. So, but please don't ignore this letter, because yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.